Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to. Yeah.
Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, one of a kind, What's on your mind, What hard to find, Beautiful mind, Still in my prime, Just know that I'm here.
Jeff, you got this this microphone screen right in front of my fucking face like I'm Casey Kasem.
Well, you know. Can you count backwards?
This is like, no. This is like, that's funny. 10, 9. This is like getting more professional as it goes on. I don't know how comfortable I am with that. This thing is like really like what you see in the movies.
Yeah, you can just talk into your phone if it makes you feel better.
Well, you have my phone plugged in across the room because of the noise interference and the dirty pictures that distract me on my phone. What's up, guys? Chris and Jeff for what episode are we on, Jeff?
This is 4?
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 4, Pound Off's Anonymous, so we're still new. Grace, if you please. Grace, if you will. We're recording it. I realized that by the time you listen to this, the podcast have actually launched as of yesterday. It was exciting.
Yeah,
I got some people reaching out, so we might be on our way to help that one person, right?
That's good.
So by the time you guys listen to this, if we haven't been, Uncle Sam hasn't pulled us from the air for our too many F-bombs. And I'll address that again in a minute, but by the time you listen to this, it's going to be well past Christmas. So I get that. I realize that we're not live. But I do want to talk about Christmas. I want to talk about what Christmas used to look like and what Christmas looked like for me personally this past season. How was your Christmas?
Man, we had a great Christmas.
Yeah.
It was
happy?
Short and sweet and happy.
Spend too much?
No. Luckily.
Fucker.
My parents did.
Okay, that's,
I'm still a child. I'm an only child, Chris.
Nice. Milk that fucking cow, man.
Yeah, so of course I reap the benefits.
You better. I got 2 sisters, and accurately and often say that I'm the rose between 2 thorns. Especially the older sister. I'm just kidding.
I'm friends with the older sister.
She's going to listen to this.
Oh, she's a great person.
She must have paid you to say that. No, she's all right. Love you, Sarah. Good, man. I'm glad you guys, Brittany, your wife have a good Christmas.
She did. She actually.
Did you spoil her?
Well, so we don't buy gifts for each other for Christmas.
How the fuck do you work that out?
We decided.
You have that in contract?
To be honest, I think that was her idea.
If I tried to do that, Jeff, I'd have to have it fucking notarized. Like, it would have to be a sealed,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Ashley's not very materialistic, thank God. But
I won't say Brittany's not materialistic, but she didn't. I don't know. It was her idea. I don't know why.
Well,
I think I don't know.
Bless her heart.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Bless her liberal heart. That's where our marriages differ. We are complete opposites, Ashley and I. She's the big-hearted social worker that loves everyone.
Yes.
And I'll stop right there. Man, I'll tell you, so before I get into my Christmas, I need to address, there's been minimal, actually, negative feedback on just the language. The content, you can say it sucks, you can say it's good. That's up to you, I do care. I did post on Facebook, like, I welcome all feedback and reviews as long as they're positive.
Yes, I saw that.
The fucking negative shit gives me anxiety, man. But if you're strictly all, pissed off with your fucking asshole puckered because of the language, I gotta just, I get it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I've written this before, but I don't know if I've said it this direct on the podcast. Mm-hmm. The people that we're trying to help, Jeff, our target audience, are literally on the street sucking cock for heroin fixes. Okay, they don't give a fuck about that said word, right?
Right.
They, in fact, probably need to hear it because it's direct, and we're trying to save some fucking people here, man. So I do. That's my target audience, and if the people that are tuned in that are offended by the F word, I apologize, but I don't. And I'm not trying to come off as some arrogant fucking asshole here, but really, I mean it. That's the way I talk. I'm unfiltered. I try to curb it around my kiddo. Try being the key word. Dropped his first F-bomb the other day. Ashley looked directly at me with like laser fire eyes. So I understand it. I'm sorry. When I say something really fucked up, I say that's not Christian, and God absolves me, and we move on. So I just wanted to get that out there. I'm sorry. I always say pardon my French. I'm Italian. You know, and I played hockey my whole life. And funny that bringing that up, my old man taught me at a very young age when he took me to the locker room, back in the locker rooms when he was playing and reffing, learning from the boys. And he said, I was 4 or 5. He said, Chris, the golden rule in life is what you hear in the locker room stays in the locker room. That night I go home and tell my mom that Tom was saying pussy, fuck you, all this shit, cock, everything. So it took me a couple tries to learn the golden rule, but I got it down now. So actually when Charlie starts really, he's playing hockey now, but when it starts getting more serious, I apologize now for his language. When I was I think I was a squirter or peewee in hockey. That's the kids shit that my old man would ref some games over in Cahokia Ice Rink, and I think we were done playing. He reffed the actual game I was playing, so I had the fucking books fixed right there. Knew the ref, right? So we're coming off the ice, and I'm in the locker room, and apparently my mom goes up to my old man who reffed and says, Tom, who was that kid that was saying the F word and all those nasty, I can't even repeat them. And my old man looked at her and said, you don't want to know. And my mom slowly had a hard time coming to hockey games for a while after that because of my language and the penalty minutes. But bear with me, guys.
They're just words.
They're just words. We're trying to help. And the people that need maybe to hear this most are the people that don't have time for fucking bullshit, that aren't offended maybe easily by a couple 4-letter words. So that being said, Christmas, man, hallelujah. It was I had a great fucking Christmas. It was awesome. And I'm trying to say this without sounding all fucking Magoo or goody two-shoe and shit, but I had a great fucking Christmas. And I don't just mean the day, right? The whole season, like from the day after Thanksgiving where it's a big shit show. I mean, I don't take part in that stuff, but from, Thanksgiving's over, Christmas season, it was good this year. And it comes from a place, I come from a place where Christmas used to fucking be so brutal, man. It used to suck. I've had some real shitty ones, been in a shitty spot mentally. Been in a, couple of them, like centered even around, which people are afraid to talk about because it makes them sound like a pussy, like some heartbreak Christmas, like where you're lonely. I mean, those suck. When you're like wishing you like either had a girlfriend or whatever, or missed the one that got away, shit like that. So I've been through those. I mean, I'm 36 and have lived some lives. I would say maybe 8 out of 9 of them if I were a cat. But I've come from a place where Christmas used to be hard, and this year it wasn't. This year, I mean, I'm so fucking grateful. God was present, man. It was a Christmas of light. I try to embrace some of the holiday shit, and I'm not talking the fucking malls. I'm not talking about even going to the fucking Way of Lights over in Illinois. Like, right. That, when we grew up, kids in high school would go eat a bunch of fucking mushrooms or sheets of acid and go through the Way of Lights, and apparently I never really was into the acid shit. I was more into like speed shit and the booze, obviously. But these fucking people, I know these kids would go drive around that Way of Lights, frying their balls off, like fucking seeing all kinds of crazy shit. So maybe maybe that was the way to do the Way of Lights. Me, I'm not that shit. That's not what I'm talking about here. Right. I'm not going to Tillis Park with my fucking hot cocoa and my caroling shoes on, okay? What I'm talking about is, I mean, people are going to probably turn the channel here right now, but I'm talking about the fucking Jesus shit. Like Advent, leading up to Christmas. Like, yeah, certainly I've lucked out by getting sober and meeting this awesome girl that for some fucking reason married me, and now having this kiddo that we're knocking on the door to finalize an adoption with. Like, holy shit. I mean, Christmas was awesome. And with kids, Jeff, it's fucking magical.
Yeah.
So this year was nuts, and it all went well. In fact, on Christmas Eve, I think I wrote about this before, like just being funny, but I felt like Henry Hill in Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah.
Minus the fucking cocaine and the narc helicopter. But I was running from pillar to fucking post, man. We got up at 6. We went down to the hill, got the antipasta, got the cannoli, and all the fucking schwuyadel and all that shit at Missouri Bakery. After we went, went to Viviano's for all the stuffed peppers, and I got some frozen manicotti shells that we threw in the sauce. I do big Italian spread every Christmas Eve. I make homemade meatballs. My grandma, Sicilian, she's got the fucking best meatball recipe. God.
You have to share that. I make homemade meatballs too.
All right. Well, we'll have to have you over for this spread, man.
Have to be a blood brother or something first.
No. You have to do the prick your finger and burn the prayer card in your hand, and well, I have to go whack somebody for me, and then we'll give you a plate of meatballs. I got quite a list. I do have a list on my phone. I shit you not, and it says if this Christian thing doesn't fucking work out, I call it my cut list. And evidence of Jesus here that it used to get names added on it almost daily.
Wow.
Now it's like almost once a week. So things are getting better.
Less.
So between running to the hill, getting home, these take fucking 4 hours to make because it takes an hour to roll these bitches. They're about, we did 4 pounds of them in a small group for Christmas Eve this year. But you roll them and you cook them in the sauce raw. So it takes 2 to 2.5 hours to do it that way. So we're getting fucking ready, rolling meatballs. I got sauce everywhere. We're getting Charlie's ass ready for Christmas Eve. I'm helping serve the church, right? So I am on a team at church that I needed to be there for the 2:30 service at Clayton, the site of one of our church sites. 4:30. I did both of those. Came home, finished the fucking meatballs. Like we had them 75% cooked and done, and then left on the stove off the heat. Brought them back, put them on. Got the manicotti in the oven. Had Christmas Eve with everybody. There's some certain presents. My mom does this whole fucking deal for the grandkids. God bless her. And then I had to get back to the 11 o'clock service because I'll tell you that 11 o'clock Christmas Eve service is fucking magical, man. It's my favorite church service of the year. Beats Easter. There's something so fucking peaceful about that night. And then leaving and like driving home after doing the Silent Night shit, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody lights a candle. It's quiet as fuck. It's awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, fuck that people that are calling me a big fucking dork. I am. I fucking love that shit. It's awesome. And I drive home and it's so peaceful. Like you can fucking see the stars in the sky. And I just cling to that word hope, which is why I'm bringing all this shit up today. Then we get home and then I gotta play fucking Santa Claus till 2:30 in the morning before Charlie wakes up and bang bang boom. But hope is so powerful, and I'm able to really recognize it now because I came from a place where I fucking hated Christmas. I hated it with a passion. I could not wait from Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, till December 26th. And I get that from my old man. He fucking was a Scrooge motherfucker, man. Blue Christmas by Elvis is his favorite song. And when he would just spend. He would spend because he had a big fucking heart, and he would just spend. And by Christmas Eve night, he'd be doing the meatballs, right? And after about a bottle and a half of red wine, he'd start getting into the Crown. Big Canadian whiskey guy. And when I was like 14, I started helping him with the Santa Claus routine for my baby sister. And that's when he started pouring me some fucking Crown. I'd already kind of dabbled in drinking and stuff, but this was the real Crown, or sometimes some fucking Cutty Sark scotch, which I'm not a big fan of. But he would pour it in a rocks glass, and he's like, you've earned it. He was half in the bag. First time he's been happy in a fucking month because he's done spending money. So I emulate to this day usually my old man just to a T. And so that's how it started. Like, fuck Christmas. You got lists coming out your ass of things you got to do, of gifts you got to buy, all that shit. And it's so stressful, man. And I know people are resonating with this. I just know it. And it's a madhouse. And I was talking with some people this season, like, I'm starting to realize that all the commercialized, the Christmas commercials, the fucking Hallmark shit, the sales, all that is like, I'm trying to think the best way to say it. It promotes this bullshit fairy tale Christmas that I would say only about, at best, 50% of the fucking population are having.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably way lower. I'm sure.
Oh, guaranteed.
That there's way more people out there that are like, that are either something that some people may call small, that, have a relationship. It's not small. Like a lonely Christmas. Or I know 3 fucking guys that buried their fathers this past year, and I've been there, and so Christmas is fucking brutal for those folks. And for way more than I'd say half of the people hearing these jingle bell shit, I mean, it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. It's gut wrenching. And I've been there, man. I've been there, and I used to be bah fucking humbug. But the last couple years, this year I noticed it especially. And maybe it's, the kid. And maybe it's because, I'm not right now lonely. But that's the point. I was. And somehow I stuck with it. I was, even when I was sober. The first couple years I was sober, were some lonely times. There were some bridges that were burnt. I was finding myself. God blessed me with a great family, so I had them. But even the first couple, they weren't all fucking hunky-dory, They weren't all kumbaya fucking ah. And I'm telling you, when you're in that spot, you never think that this shit's gonna change. I never did. I'm like, man, maybe this fucking happy, romantic, or family shit that I kind of yearned for isn't for me. Maybe that's not. And then you start coming to terms with that, and you start telling God, like, all right, maybe that's just not my plans, because you're always trying to figure shit out, and it just, especially being an alcoholic and impulsive by nature, you want everything right now. Those are tough Christmases. Those are tough seasons to go through the holidays that way. And I know people that are maybe listening to this now, probably come out about a month after Christmas, are probably, that was my Christmas. That was it. It sucked. It was fucking brutal. It blew. It sucked. Blue Christmas, Elvis Presley, put it on. But the point is, it's not always going to be that way. Yes, I'm going to pray for all of you that were there where I was, that you find where I'm at. That's my prayer today for y'all. And I'm confident praying that, because it's not a fucking, long shot wish.
Right.
It's going to happen. It can happen. And it happened for me when I decided to put the fucking bottle down and decided to stop living out of a fucking whiskey bottle, or whiskey handle, I should say, plastic fucking jug of the shit, by the time it got to the worst. And started fucking, for me, it was fucking Jesus. It was church, and it was going every Sunday, and it was not just leaving on Sundays and saying, oh, okay, I'll be back, I'm going to be a fucking asshole till Saturday night. It was trying to do small things in my life that was like, man, this is for real. And now I'm in a spot, and I know there's going to be storms ahead for me. And I hope I might have to go back to this podcast and listen to this to remind myself that the darkness, the storm, all that shit's fucking temporary, man. There's hope, and that's, I think, the Christmas story is that, that Jesus was born and there's hope for everybody.
Right.
And that's fucking powerful, man. It's life-saving. And I hope I'm articulating this well enough on this episode, but getting out of the fucking pits of watching everybody else, you think everybody else is having a happy Christmas, and you're the only one that's not. And that's bullshit. You, like I've said, and like Jeff and I are trying to tell y'all, you're not alone, man. You're not. Yeah. And Jeff, I don't know your whole story. I bet you've had some dark fucking Christmases, or
sure.
I mean, haven't we all? Like,
absolutely. I mean, you lose a family member or somebody like that, or you're alone, or lost relationships. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and I think you're right. Everybody has that.
Right. And I think every holiday that comes and goes, there are people even sitting next to you in church, or standing next to you in these fucking crazy ass lines, these madhouses out there for the next Beyblade. That's what my kids do. Beyblades, and you got a hoverboard. And
I don't know what any of that is. I don't have kids.
The Beyblades are pretty cool. I started to get them. It's like they were around. They're coming back. He's pretty fucking good at it too. Nice. But you go crazy doing all that shit, and then you see there's people out there with you, next to you, that are probably going through that fucking blue shit right with you. And I'm going to tell you that you can, if you're in that spot, and it sounds like I'm on commission for how many people that I send to church, I get a commission. I'm on 10% tithe.
Right. Yeah.
I'll have to talk to our pastor about that. 10%'s cheap.
Well, sure.
Back when I used to run books and shit, it was I'd drive a harder bargain, but I don't think I'm asking too much. But I mean it. Go to fucking church. There's a group of people probably there in the same boat as you are, and now you're not alone. And you're not alone. You can hang out together, and it fucking helps. That's what I did. I mean, that's why we all meet outside of church and talk about the deep, vulnerable shit, and then talk about the fun, not deep, vulnerable shit. It's just people are scared to admit it when they're in a dark spot, and they're fucking lonely, and then they turn to the bottle or the fucking rail of Coke or whatever the fuck it is. But I think I really wanted to share that today, man. I really wanted to, because and I'm grateful to God for this. I was really fucking mindful this season that things went well for me, happiness wise, and it's not going that way for everybody, but for the folks that are struggling, that hope is on the way. Have it. Don't lose sight of it. It can. It saved my life. So that's my Christmas story, and I guess I can end today's episode with my favorite gift this year that I got. What did you get a favorite gift this year? One that stood out, not to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
you're kicking me under the fucking table.
I got a lot of cool stuff from we have a cool sort of historic house in Belleville.
It's tight.
And so we
still waiting for my fucking invite, but hey,
I don't know, man. You have to curb that language.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if I bring some fucking meatballs.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
So we've been doing a lot of house projects. So
I see that.
I got tons of tools this year, which is cool because all my tools that I got when we got married are starting to fall apart. So it's a good thing.
My buddy got his wife a vacuum, and she was excited about it, and I was always told, You don't get fucking vacuums to your wife for a Christmas present. I don't know how he got away with that. If I would have done that vacuum put it up my ass.
I got a shop vac. I was happy with the shop vac.
I think she's
But I'm
trying
a dude,
to tell you
so
something.
maybe, well, I didn't get it I got it from her mother, so.
Even worse. Well, so, and you know, I'm talking about what's relevant in my life because it's my story and it's what I know, and hopefully people can resonate, right? So it's authentic. As I don't know if all of you know, but with fostering a young kid, we're knocking on the door to adopt him. It's a fucking magical thing. And I think I've already talked about it, so I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but my favorite gift this year was a handmade Christmas card he made me with his words, with his fucking writing. And it said, and it was like brown paper, folded, and there was like blue stick figures with a blue marker, which he later described to me as blues players, because he knows that I love the blues. Hockey team, for those of you that are tuning in not from the St. Louis area or have been living under a fucking rock this past 12 months. But in his handwriting, it said with the same blue marker, "Chris is my favorite daddy." And it stopped me in my fucking tracks, man. So, man, that's what I got for today. Hope's on the way, y'all. I promise. And with that, let us pray. Amen.
Pondoff's Anonymous is Chris Pondoff and produced by me, Jeff Allen. Our music is Antihero by McCall and Gentle Waters by Wild Wonder. For more information, visit pondoffsanonymous.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram.